Okay, everybody, it is just another Manic Monday, and it's the Monday after July 4th weekend, so holiday is over. Everybody, well, a lot of people, if you work that typical 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 type job, is back to work on this Monday. So hopefully this game will be a little bit of a boost to your lunchtime Monday workday. It is in the rotation back to APBA baseball, and since we are approaching All-Star Week, this is going to be the All-Star game from 1941, played at Detroit's Briggs Stadium, later to be known as Tiger Stadium. And we will go through, or I'll go through all the players on the team, because there's a lot of them, and then we'll do the starting lineups as well. We'll start with the reserves for the National League, and make sure I've got everybody where they need to be. Pitchers, yep, okay. All right, so the reserve bench players for the National League. From the Cincinnati Reds, Frank McCormick. From the Brooklyn Dodgers, Cookie Lavagetto. From the Brooklyn Dodgers, Billy Herman. From the New York Giants, Mel Ott. From the Brooklyn Dodgers, Joe Medwick. From the St. Louis Cardinals, Enos Slaughter. From the Boston Braves, Eddie Miller. And from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Al Lopez. And then from the New York Giants, Harry Danning. Those are the reserve position players. The reserve pitchers for the National League: Sam Derringer of Cincinnati, Bucky Walters of Cincinnati, Bob Elliott from the Pirates, Claude Passeau from Chicago, and he gave up that infamous home run to Ted Williams in the ninth. Oh, Dolph Camilli got stuck in there. I got a couple position players stuck in here. How about that? Didn't mean to. Dolph Camilli from Brooklyn, Hank Lieber from Chicago, and Pee Wee Reese from Brooklyn. They got stuck in there with the pitchers. There weren't that many pitchers on the All-Star team. Like I said, we had Elliott, Passeau, Carl Hubble from the Giants, Lon Warneke from St. Louis, Cy Blanton from the Phillies, and that's it. I mean, there's your bullpen right there. 7 guys to go with the one starting. So they only had 8 pitchers on the roster. So now let's look at the reserves for, well, we'll go ahead and we'll do the reserves for the American League. Why not? All right, the reserves for the American League. And we'll split them up by pitchers and hitters as well. And so here we go. For the American League reserves, second baseman Joe Gordon from the Giants. Center fielder Dom DiMaggio from Boston. Also from Boston, the Double X, Jimmy Fox. Lou Boudreau of Cleveland. Frankie Blimp Hayes from the Philadelphia A's. Charlie Keller from the Yankees. Ken Keltner from Cleveland. He's best known for making 2 great plays to stop the DiMaggio streak. Roy Columbine from St. Louis Browns. Luke Appling from the White Sox. Bertie Tebbetts from Detroit. And there are your reserve position players for the American League. Your reserve pitchers, they had about the same amount. You got lefty Thornton Lee from Chicago. Sid Hudson from Washington. Ed Smith from Chicago. Lefty Marius Russo from the Yankees, Red Ruffing from the Yankees, and Al Benton from Detroit. So those are all your reserves, and hopefully I'm going to try to get most of these guys in the game. Let's see what we can do. Sometimes it gets a little hectic, but we'll try the best we can. Sometimes these All-Star games can be a little hectic, like I say. All right, starting lineups. First for the National League, leading off in playing right field. Leading off in playing, let me get my line up here. Leading off and playing third base is going to be Stan Hack of the Cubs. Batting second, playing left field, is Terry Moore from the Cardinals. Hitting third, Pistol Pete Reeser in center field for Brooklyn. Batting cleanup is the big cat, Johnny Mize from the Cardinals, and he will be at first base. William Swish Nicholson from the Cubs is in right field. He'll hit fifth. Archie Vaughn, shortstop from the Pirates, will hit sixth. Lonnie Fry, second baseman of the Reds, will hit seventh. Mickey Owen, the catcher, had that infamous pass ball in the World Series. He's from Brooklyn, and he will bat eighth and catch. And he'll be catching his teammate, Whit Wyatt, from the Brooklyn Dodgers. He will get the start in this game. He is an X and a Z, and his master symbol number is 16. So that's the starting lineup for the National League. For the American League, leading off and playing second base will be Boston's second baseman, Bobby Doerr. Hitting second, playing third base, is from the Washington Senators is Cecil Travis. Batting third, playing center field from the Yankees, Joe DiMaggio. Hitting cleanup is the splendid splendor, Ted Williams from Boston, playing left field. Hitting fifth in right field is Jeff Heath from Cleveland. Joe Cronin, shortstop, will hit in the sixth position. Batting seventh at first base from Detroit is Rudy York. Hitting eighth and catching, Yankees' own Bill Dickey. And batting ninth and pitching is Bob Feller from Cleveland. He is an X, Y, and a W, and his master symbol is 17. So there you have it. We're all set to go. And I do have these players, in case anybody's curious or was thinking about it. I do have the cards in these little holders. And if you want to know what they are, it's Ultra Pro card sleeves. 2 5/8 times 3 5/8. Got these off of Amazon. Don't remember how much they cost. It wasn't that much for a pack of 100. You don't really need them, I don't think, because these APBA cards are pretty sturdy, but I just think they have they slide easier, and just think they have a nice feel to them. So when I bring out a APBA game that's, like an all-star type game, I'll go ahead and use them. So that's the reason for that. All right, so we are about ready to get underway. Stan Hack is going to lead it off for the National League against Bob Feller. So we'll put, Bob Feller, as we know, is a XYW with a 17. So Bob Feller, we'll go ahead and put him out there, why not? Bob Feller, we'll just put him like that. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this so you can see it clearly on the camera to get the results the way hopefully we'll get them. So I'll put them here and I'll roll the dice here. How about that? I do have the basic book here, but I am playing this with the Merino boards. The only thing I'm going to use this book for is sacrifice flies. I'm not going to go through the math of the runner adjustments and all that stuff in this all-star game. I'm just going to go to the basic book on the result and see if it's a sac fly or not. And of course, for the majority of the game, I will be using the Merino boards. So the Merino boards will be off camera so that I can look at them and keep the game flow going without maybe bogging the game down so much. That is my hope. So we shall see. I think everything is in order now, so we can get going. Hopefully people are chatting and having a good time, even though it's back to work day. Hopefully this will make it a little bit brighter. We'll see. Right now it is Mr. Hack, Mr. Stan Hack, leading things off against Bob Feller, and the 1941 All-Star Game is underway. We get a 25. 25 is an 8, and right away we go to the Merino boards. Bob Feller is a 17. Hack against a right-hander is -1, makes Feller an 18. An 18 to an 8 is going to change that from a single to a fly to center, so one away as Bob Feller gets Hack to fly to center. One down, that'll bring up left fielder Terry Moore. 65 for Moore is a 35, and that's a foul to the catcher. I think if you play APBA enough, you kind of memorize that result. So it's a fly to the catcher, or foul out to the catcher, as Dickey puts it away. 2 down for Pete Reeser, Pistol Pete. 53 is a 15. 15 is a single to left. Well, we're checking the left fielder, and that's Ted Williams. He's a 3 on his fielding, which puts him in fielding column 1. Both teams are fielding column 1 as a whole, but puts Williams in fielding column 1. So that's going to turn the single into a fly out. So Ted Williams will make that catch. I didn't really think he was that great of a fielder, but they rated him that way. So we're just going to go with it. So that's going to end the inning for the National League. They are done. 1, 2, 3. Bob Feller puts them away. We go to the bottom of the first. National League nothing. American League coming to bat. And Bobby Doerr will be in there, facing Whit Wyatt. So Whit Wyatt facing Bobby Doerr. All right, so we are underway. Whit Wyatt's tosses are complete. Here's Bobby Doerr. Whoa, 55 right off the bat is a 8. And we go to that Merino boards right away. He's a 16. Doerr against a right-hander is a +2. -14 against lefties. Very strange. But +2 against the righties because he is a right-hander. So it kind of bucks the trend there. So that knocks him down to a 14. Can a 14 stop an 8? It still can. It's a 30. And that turns into a fly to left. 1 away. So Whit Wyatt just barely able to stop that. 1 away, and that brings up Cecil Travis, the shortstop. Travis, a 60. I'm sorry, he's a third baseman, not the shortstop. 62 for Travis is a 39, and that's a strike unless the pitcher has a W. Whit Wyatt does not have the W, so it's going to stay a strike, not be a walk. 46 is a 30, and that's a fly to left. So 2 down, 2 fly balls to Ted Williams. I'm sorry, not to Ted Williams, to Jerry Moore. American League's batting, not the National League. Here's Joltin' Joe. 31 is an 8, and again, that's back to the Merino boards. He is a -4 against righties and makes him a 20, and a 20 certainly stops an 8, turns it to another fly to left. So 3 fly balls to left field, and the American League goes quietly in the first as well, as Whit Wyatt does his thing. So we go to the second. No score. Feller back out, and we'll be facing Big John Mize to lead things off for the National League. 54 is a 32. 32 is a fly to right, unless the pitcher has a K, which he does not. So that's 1 away from Mize. He's out of there. Brings up Nicholson, right fielder from the Cubs. 24-13, that's a strikeout. So Bob Feller picks up strikeout number 1 here in this All-Star game. First strikeout for either team. Brings up Arky Vaughan, shortstop. 42 is a 14, and that's going to be a walk, a leadoff walk, and we finally have a runner on. So runner's on first with 2 outs. Run on first with 2 outs. And that brings up Lonnie Fry. 33 for Fry is a 0, so Fry's going to get a chance to do some damage. 62 is a 6, so a 6. We're looking for, let's see here, he is a -1. 16 and a 6, an L or an M. He does not have that quality, so it's going to stay a double. Runner to third, but with 2 outs, the runner scores. So there are 2 outs, so that means Arky Vaughan's going to come around to score, getting that boost for there being 2 outs. So Fry with an RBI double puts the National League ahead 1-0. 1-0. That brings up Mickey Owen. 54-32, runner on second now. I'm going to go to that chart. And a 32 is going to be a fly out to right field, and that's going to end the inning. But the National League takes the lead on that RBI double from Mr. Fry and puts them ahead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. And Whit Wyatt back out. We'll be facing the splendid splinter, Ted Williams. Fourteen for Teddy. Ball game is a 30, which is a fly to left, 1 away. So Whit Wyatt has gotten the American League to fly to left 4 times. Every out has been a fly to left so far. Let's see if we can get a different result this time. Mr. Heath. 23 is a 29. 29 is a ground out to the pitcher unless he has an X, which he does. So Whit Wyatt gets the K. So 2 down. And that will bring up Joe Cronin. And I'm going to do those substitutions, try to do them exactly as they were done in the game, in real life. 15 for Cronin is an 8. So let's see, Cronin's a -3. It makes him a 19. 19 will stop an 8. It's a fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. So after 2 are complete, it is 1-0 in favor of the National League. And I thought I had my sheet somewhere that had the box score from this game. I've got the box score that shows the pitching changes, but not the pinch hitters. So I'm going to have to just kind of play it by ear, I guess. I thought I had it all printed out, but apparently I did not. Or if I did, it's somewhere else, not in my immediate vicinity. So we just got to wing it. To not do the ID gesture thing of exact lineups, we'll just wing it and see how it goes. All right, so here is Whit Wyatt's batter, because they do have, there is no DH, folks. So Whit Wyatt's going to lead things off. Number 9 hitter. 41. 41 is a 24, and a 24 is a 6-3 ground out. Grounds to Cronin at short for 1 away. So had to make sure about that, because I'm so used to DHs. But not in 1941. Here's Stan Hack. 12. 12 is a 29. 29. 1-3 ground out. Let's pitcher as an X, which Feller certainly does. So it's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Bob Feller. But he's on the short end of a 1-0 lead. Here's Terry Moore. 34. 31. That is a fly to center. And that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the National League, rather. Now, one thing I can do, since it did print out the part that has the pitching, I can figure out how long each of the starters went. So I might try to mimic that at least. And if I'm looking at this right here, the starters in this game, they only went 2 innings and 3 innings. So, in fact, Whit Wyatt got pinch hit for. He didn't even bat. But since he's in the lead, I'll let him pitch 3 innings. But that's it for Bob Feller. He is done. He's going to be pinch hit for because his turn's coming up. So we'll figure out a pinch hitter once we get there. Right now it's Rudy York to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. 36 is a 14, and that's a leadoff walk for Rudy York. First base runner for the American League, and it's a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Bill Dickey, catcher. 52. 52 is a 27. Fielding column 1, that's a double play unless the pitcher has an X, and he does. So kind of hurts him there by having the X. He gets the strikeout versus getting the double play. And now we'll get a pinch hitter in for Bob Feller. And we'll see who the pinch hitter is going to be. It appears that it's going to be Charlie Keller. So Charlie Keller will pinch hit for Bob Feller. So Keller for Feller. How does that sound? That was not planned, but just worked out that way. Keller, 34, 31. That is a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. No, I'm sorry. That's 2 outs. My bad. That's just the second out. Will not end the inning, obviously. So that'll bring up next man in line will be Bobby Doerr. Top of the order. 25. 25 is an 8. Doerr again. He had the same result to start the game because he's +2. Makes him a 14, but a 14 still stops the 8. Becomes a fly to right, and that's going to end the inning, and that's going to do it for Whit Wyatt. So both starters go 3 innings. Both starters will go the 3 innings. Both starting pitchers, I should say, will go the 3 innings. And now we will go to the bullpen for the American League, and I will use the exact order that they had there as best I can, unless pitching dictates differently. So Mr. Thornton Lee was the second guy to come in for the American League. So Thornton Lee will be the new pitcher for the American League. And Lee has a Y and a Z. And his master rating is a 16. So Lee is in. And we'll get a new pitcher for the National League when that time comes. Right now, Lee is facing Pete Reeser. So lefty on lefty matchup. Start the 4th. 42. 42 for Reeser is a 9. And let's see, Reeser's a -11 against lefties. So that's where the lefty-lefty matchup really comes into play. turns him to a 27. I think a 27 will easily stop a 9, and it will. It turns it to a fly to left. So nice play there by Thornton Lee. Another lefty coming up, Johnny Mize. 31. 31's another 9. Mize is a -11. So that turns him to a 27. And again, that is an easy play. Another fly to left. So 2 down. So it just worked out perfectly to face these lefties. Now, another lefty, Swish Nicholson. So he got to face 3 lefties in a row. 51. 51 is another 9, and he's -2, which turns him to an 18. 18 cannot, oh, I'm sorry, it will stop a 9. It did stop a 9. It's a 28. If I'm looking at that correctly, yeah, he's a -1, so it makes him a 17 rather. So 17 will not stop a 9. I stand corrected. No, he is -2 against lefties. I was right the first time. Makes him an 18. 18 is a 28. 28 becomes a grounder short. So we barely got him, but that's all that counts. That's all they needed. Got him. 3 up, 3 down, go the National League. And now we need a new pitcher for the National League. So we're going to look at who was in the actual game, who came in second. And according to the box score, it was Mr. Derringer. So from Cincinnati, Sam, or they call him Paul Derringer. And Derringer has a Z, and his master symbol is only a 9. So maybe the American League can do something with that. It's going to be Cecil Travis to lead things off. 42. 42 is a 9. And let's see, he's a righty, so that's a +2. Knocks him down to a 7. And 7's not going to stop a 9, I don't think. No, it will not. It almost did, but it did not. An 8 would have stopped a 9, but not a 7. So that's a base hit. Base hit Cecil Travis to lead things off. As the American League looking to storm back here. Here's DiMaggio. 64. 64 is a 14. He does have a Z though, so it's 2-ball count, not a walk. 34. 34 is a 31, and that is a fly to center by DiMaggio. 1 away. And that will bring up Splendid Splinter, Ted Williams. 32. 32 on Williams is a 26. 26, first on the fielder's choice, 4 to 6 ground out. So it's a 4-6 fielder's choice. Williams is the new runner at first with 2 down for Mr. Heath, Mr. Jeff Heath. 26 for Heath is a 32, and that's a fly to right to end the inning. So the American League, and remember they were behind in this game and had to win it with several runs in the 9th based on that home run by Williams. So I believe it was, I don't have the line score, but basically they got 5 in the last couple of innings to win it. So they got nothing to, they only got 2 runs to the first 6 innings. So not surprising that they're off to a slow start. So here is Archie Vaughn, and I'm going to let Lee go 2 innings, the same as Derringer. I'm going to let all relief pitchers go 2 innings at max. So Archie Vaughn steps to the plate. 54. 54 is a 32, and a 32 is a fly to right field. So there's 1 away, and that will bring up Mr. Fry, who had that big double, RBI double, count for the only run of the game. 32. 32 is a 26. 26 is a 4-3 ground out to second baseman. And that is handled easily by Bobby Doerr. 2 down. And that will bring up Mickey Owen. Now, the pitcher, Derringer, is scheduled next, so it'd be nice to get a hit here and pinch hit for him, but we'll see. 45 is a 14, and that's going to be a walk with the bases empty, so he will get to have a pinch hitter come in for him. So the walk there will allow the pinch hitter for Derringer. So Derringer is done. And Derringer actually only goes 1 inning. He's not going to go 2 innings. He's only going to go 1 inning because his spot is up. So we'll go to the pinch hitter, and it's going to be, see who they want to go to here. They are going to go to Cookie Lavagetto. So Cookie Lavagetto is in to pinch hit. See what he can do with the runner at first and 2 outs. against the lefty Lee. 15. 15's an 8. And he is a +2 against lefties, which makes him a 14. 14, can a 14 stop an 8 with run on first? Yes, it can. It's a 32, which turns to a fly to right. And so the inning is over. So Derringer is gone. So is Lavagetto. So now we go to the bottom of the 5th, and we'll get a new pitcher for the National League. And let's see who the new pitcher was in real life, in the actual game. The next pitcher in line was Walters. So this is going to be Bucky Walters. He will be coming on. Lee is done. He went 2 innings and he's done. So Walters from Cincinnati, he is a right-hander. And we'll check his credentials. He is a Y and a Z. And he's got a 13 master symbol on his card. And he's going to be facing off against Joe Cronin to lead things off. Be Cronin, York, and Dickey. And if anybody gets on, we'll pinch hit for the pitcher, Mr. Lee. So here's Cronin against Walters. An 11, that's a 0, so Joe Cronin is going to get something done early. 66, it's gone. Home run, Joe Cronin. So he greets Bucky Walters with a home run. And we got a tie game. 1 apiece, just like that. Thanks to Joe Cronin. And that'll bring up Rudy York. 55, that's an 8. He's a -2 against righties, makes him a 15. 15 will stop an 8, turns it to a fly to right. 1 away for Dickey, and then we'll get a pinch hitter for Mr. Lee. We'll see who that's going to be. 21 is a 12, and a 12 is a ground ball to first. 2 down, and now we get a pinch hitter. And we'll see who the pinch hitter is going to be. It's a good thing you can't see my score sheet because it's going to get messy as the game gets along and all these substitutes start coming in, but that's kind of the fun part. So let's see who's going to pinch hit. We are looking for, we've already used Keller, so now he's a righty on the mound. So do they have any lefties they can go to, or do they just want to not worry about lefty righty and go for it all the way here? Looks like it's going to be Mr. Cullenbine. So Roy Cullenbine from St. Louis Browns. Roy Cullenbine step up with 2 outs and a runner at first. 2 outs, bases empty rather. In a tie game. 66 is a 0, so Cullenbine chance to do some damage. 65 is a 7, and that will be a single for Cullenbine. Pinch hit single. And we flip the order over now to Bobby Doerr. And Doerr will be stepping up. And the new American League pitcher, according to the rotation, is going to be Mr. Hudson. So Sid Hudson from the Washington Senators will be next. Doerr, 62, is a 30, and that's a fly to left to end the inning. But the American League ties the game at 1 on the home run by Joe Cronin. And we go to the 6th. It is 1-1 here in or at Briggs Stadium. Stan Hack will lead it off for the National League, top of the order. And in the 7th inning, I think we might start doing some substitutions. But obviously some of these guys like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio didn't get replaced. But I will replace some other ones. So Sid Hudson is the new pitcher for the American League. He is a Y with a grade of 11. So he's got a grade of 11, and he's a Y. So the quality of the starting pitchers, or quality of the pitchers, are going down. It went from a 17 for Feller, 16 for Lee, and now an 11 for Hudson. So Stan Hack leading things off against Hudson. 52 is a 27. That's, if he's got an X, it's a strikeout. It's not. He does not have the X, so it's simply a grounder to third. And that's an easy play over there made by Mr. Travis. There's 1 away for Mr. Moore. 65, 35. We know that's a pop to the catcher because that's one of those ones you kind of remember. It's a foul to the catcher. 2 down for Pete Reeser. Pete Reeser, 43 is a 29, and that's going to be a grounder back to the pitcher. Easy play there by Hudson, and he's got an easy 1-2-3 inning. And we now go to the bottom of the 6th, and Mr. Walters will come out for his second inning of relief. And he will be facing Cecil Travis to lead things off for the American League. So Travis against Walters. Hudson will be back for his second inning, most likely, you would think. Travis against Walters, 41. 41 is a 24. 24 is a grounder to short. Whoops, one away. Make sure I'm on the right team. Grounder to short. One away, and next inning we'll be starting to do some substitutions. Probably not in mass, but probably as they're coming up to pinch hit. So here's DiMaggio. 55 for Joltin' Joe is a 7. That's a base hit. So Joltin' Joe, 1 out single. And that will bring up the splendid splinter, Ted Williams. 25. 25 is an 8. Williams against the right-hander has no change. 8, 13, I don't think, will 13 stop an 8? Yes, it will. If the runner on first, it will. It's a 27. And that becomes a ground ball to third. That becomes a double play because he doesn't have the X. It won't be a strikeout, but it will be a double play. 5, 4, 3. So how about that? Ends the inning. And Mr. Walters goes his 2 solid innings. And keeps the score at 1-1. So he will be gone. That's his 2 innings of work. He will leave. Hudson coming in for his second inning of work. And now we might start to get some substitutions. Mize is going to lead off. But then, let's see here. Now, actually, you know what? Mize is not going to hit. It's going to be Dolph Camilli. So Dolph Camilli will pinch hit and stay in the game to play first base. So Dolph Camilli of the Dodgers will be the new first baseman to start the 8th inning against Sid Hudson. Camilli, 56, and that's a 34. 34 turns into a pop to short unless he has a Y, which he does. So it's a strikeout. So Camilli down on strikes in a pinch hitting role. And now Nicholson will also leave, and we'll get a new pinch hitter or new player in right field for Nicholson, and it will be Mel Ott. So Mel Ott will take over for Nicholson. Stay in the game to play right field. Ott, 14. That's a 30. That's a fly to left. 2 down. And Ott actually is a better defender. Camilli. Where is Camilli? Is he a better defender? He's the same as Mize. So they're going to keep their fielding 1 rating. That won't change. Archie Vaughn is up. But he's coming back because Pee Wee Reese is going to come on to pinch hit. So Vaughn was a 8 at the shortstop position. Reese is also an 8, so that doesn't change. Not going to lose that fielding 1 quality. But here's Pee Wee. 32 for Pee Wee is a 26, and that's a grounder to second to end the inning. And that's going to do it for Sid Hudson. He goes his 2 innings, so he is out of there. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Still 1-1. National League and American League. So obviously the pinch hitters are going to stay at their bases to do their fielding. Let's go to the next pitcher in line for the National League. And it's going to be Mr. Let's see, it would be Passau, but I'm going to hold him out because he may need to pitch the 9th to face Ted Williams. So I don't want to use him. I want to hold him back. So I'm going to use a couple pitchers that weren't used at all, and namely Carl Hubble. So Carl Hubble did not get to pitch in the actual game, but he will in this game. So Carl Hubble is in. Carl Hubble is a Y and a 9, so veteran at the end of his career, but he's in there. And Hudson's day is done. So let's see, we're going to start using some pinch hitters for the American League as well. Mr. Heath, a right fielder, is going to be coming out. And Dom DiMaggio is going to come in. He's normally a center fielder, but he will play right field in this one. Easy to do there. So he's going to play next to his brother in the outfield. And he's actually an upgrade. Instead of a 1 from Heath, he's a 3. So they're going to definitely keep their fielding 1. Here's Hubble against DiMaggio, 64. It's 14. That's a leadoff walk for Dom DiMaggio. Trying to get something going for the American League. Cronin's up next. Now, he has a home run for the only run of the game. The backup shortstop is Lou Boudreau. So they're going to go ahead and bring in Boudreau for Cronin. Boudreau is in. He's also a 9, so they don't lose anything defensively. But here's Boudreau. 62 for Boudreau. 13 struck him out. So 2 down. And that brings up Rudy York, but I believe he's coming out as well. As we have Jimmy Fox, double X. Jimmy Fox will take over at first base. He's a 5, whereas York was a, York was only a 2 at first, so that's definitely improving their defense. But Jimmy Fox, double X, pinch hitting, stay in the game to play first base. 1 out and a man on. 34 is a 31, and that's a fly to center. 2 down. That'll bring up the catcher, Bill Dickey. But let's see if we get another player for him. See who their backup catcher is. It's Blimpie Hayes or Bertie Tebbetts. Bertie Tebbetts didn't actually play in the game. I think Hayes did, so we'll go with Hayes. So Blimpie Hayes is on. He's an 8, whereas Dickey was a 9, but they've got enough there to cover to stay in fielding column 1. Hayes, the batter, 26 is a 24. That would be a double play, but we'll just call it a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. So we go to the 8th, and we'll get a new pitcher for the American League as Hudson win his 2 innings. And next in line, according to the box score, is Mr. Smith, Eddie Smith. So Eddie Smith is on, and he will be facing, let's see if there's any more substitutions for the National League. Leading off is Fry. He had that big double as the second baseman, but let's see who they might be going to here. They're going to go to Billy Herman. So Billy Herman will be coming on. Billy Herman will be replacing Fry. And he's an 8, same as Fry was, so no change there defensively. So it's Herman against Smith here in the 8th. 15 is an 8. He's a -2 against, well, actually he throws lefty, so it's a 0. So it's an 8, and he's an 11. I don't think an 11 stops an 8 with the bases empty. Or will it? No, it does not. It's a base hit. So Herman, Billy Herman gets the base hit to lead things off. And Hubble will be done for his 1 inning because his spot's coming up in the order, so they'll pinch hit for him. And right now Mickey Owen, the catcher, is up, but he's coming out for a replacement catcher. And the replacement catcher is Al Lopez. Al Lopez and Joe Medwick is going to pinch hit for the pitcher when his time comes, which is next. So it'll be Lopez for Owen, and he'll stay in the game to catch, and then we'll have, and Lopez is an 8, so no drop off there. And then we'll have Ducky Medwick pinch hitting for the pitcher. Pinch hitting for Hubble to follow. But right now, it is Smith against Lopez. 63 is a 31. That is a fly to center field. So 1 away. Now we got the pinch hitter, Ducky Medwick, pinch hitting. And we'll get a new pitcher for the National League in the 8th. Medwick, 56. 13 struck him out. So Ducky Medwick out on strikes as a pinch hitter. 2 down. And now Stan Hack is coming up, but you would think he would be replaced as well. Let's look at the backup third baseman for the National League. And it was Cookie Lavagetto, but I used him as a pinch hitter, so I guess maybe he will stay in the game. So Hack will have to stay in the game. 65 is a foul to the catcher, and that's, or with the runner on first, yep, foul out to the catcher because he doesn't have a W. So that's going to do it for the National League here in the 8th. They are done. Bottom of the 8th we go. We need a new pitcher for the National League. And that new pitcher is going to be Lon Warneke of the Cardinals. So Lon Warneke, I'm going to save Passot till the end if possible. So Warneke, you know what? No, I'll take that back. We're going to use Passot because he did pitch 2 innings, 8th and 9th. So, and Warneke didn't pitch in the game. So you know what? 86 that. Warneke is not going to come in. It's going to be Passot. And you know what? He would face Ted Williams in either the 8th or 9th inning if it comes to that. So Passot is an 11. And he's also a Z quality pitcher. So Passot is on. First man he's going to face is going to be a pinch hitter for the pitcher. So Smith goes as 1 inning. He's going to be pinch hit for. And the pinch hitter that they're going to bring out for the 8th, let's see who it's going to be. It's going to be, they've used a bunch already. Let's see here. It's going to be Joe Gordon. So Joe Gordon's going to pinch hit. I was going to let him take over second for Dorr, but we'll go ahead and let him pinch hit here. Joe Gordon gets a chance here in the bottom of the 8th against Claude Passot. 65, that's a foul to the catcher, so that didn't work so well for Mr. Gordon. He's out of there. Now we've got to figure out who they've got left on the bench here. And from what I'm seeing, they have 3. The American League has 3 more position players left. And they got a couple of pitchers still left. Russo, Ruffing, Benton. So they got 3 pitchers still left. And 3 relievers still left. All right, so 1 out. Bobby Dorr back to the top of the order. 55 for Dorr is an 8. Against a right-hander, he's a +2, which makes him a 9. Can a 9 stop an 8? It does not. 9 does not stop an 8. It's a base hit. So it's a single for Dorr. He's aboard. Now, I'm not doing any stealing in this game. That's with these big hitters, you don't want to steal. All right. Although this is kind of a spot you would think about stealing, but it only had 1 stolen base, so his stolen base numbers are not good. Cecil Travis is up, and he is a third baseman, but he will not hit. It'll be Ken Keltner, and Ken Keltner will take over defensively as well. So that drops the American League down to 2 guys that haven't played. So Keltner will take over at third base. He is a 5 as opposed to the 4 from Travis, so another upgrade defensively. But Keltner against Passot, 34. 34 is a 31. That's a fly to center. 2 down. And that'll bring up DiMaggio. DiMaggio against Passot. And if DiMaggio is retired here, then that means Ted Williams would lead off the bottom of the 9th against Passot. This could be very interesting. 61 is a 22. 22 is hit by the pitch. Unless he has an HB0, which he does not. So they hit, how about that? They hit DiMaggio. And that's going to put runners at first and second for Ted Williams, who I believe hit a 3-run homer off Passot in the 9th. He's going to see if he can do it in the 8th. Williams against Passot, 32-26 with runners at first and second. That's an infield fly, so he pops it up to second, and the inning is over. So Williams fails in his rematch with Passot. We go to top of the 9th, and we'll get a new pitcher for the American League. And it will be Red Ruffing. Red Ruffing is the new pitcher. He will take over. He is a Z with a 12 on the master symbol. And a Z. And leading things off will be Moore, unless they've got somebody else they want to put in left field. And they do have Mr. Enos Slaughter. So Enos Slaughter is going to pinch hit for Moore. So Enos Slaughter will take over in left field. He will lead off the top of the 9th. Trying to get something going for the National League. So Slaughter against Ruffing start the 9th, tied 1-1. 14's a fly to left. So much more defensive struggle in this game than it was in the real game. Here's Pete Reiser. So not going to pinch hit for him. 56 is a 14. That's a leadoff or one out walk to Reeser. So Reeser with a walk. And that'll bring up Dolph Camilli, who came in for Johnny Mize earlier. 12. Let's go back to runner on first. 12 is a 25. 25 is a double play, 4-6-3. So that's going to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the ninth. Tied at 1. American League going to try to walk it off the way they did in real life. Although it won't be Ted Williams that'll be doing it because he just made the last out. So it will be his outfield partner, though, Dom DiMaggio, who's going to get this leadoff chance. It's DiMaggio, Boudreaux, and Fox against Passau. 41 is a 28, and a 28 is a grounder to short, one away. So one down, and that will bring up Lou Boudreaux. 56 is a 13, struck him out. So Passau doing much better in this game than he did in the All-Star game in real life. Here's Jimmy Fox. 44 for Fox is an 8. He is a -3, which makes him a 14. 14, can 14 stop an 8? It does. It's a fly to left. And we're going to extra innings here at the All-Star game. How about that? More chances to get more players in. So American League is done. Passau, I think, well, we'll see. He is, I don't know if he's really scheduled to hit. He's not going to be coming up to hit anytime soon, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's the 5th place hitter in this game, or coming up. So they'd have to do some damage to get to him. Red Ruffing, his second inning of work, will be facing Mel Ott, Pee Wee Reese, and Billy Herman. All replacements in the game. So Mel Ott, 31, that is a fly to center. One away. Brings up Pee Wee. Pee Wee, 66 for Pee Wee is a 0, so we'll see what he can do here. Not known for his power. 64 is a 6. That'll be a double. That'll be a double because Ruffing does not have the M or L qualities, so it's going to be a double for Pee Wee Reese, a one-out double here in the top of the 10th, and that'll bring up, should be Herman. I don't know where Elliott's coming from. Elliott hasn't played in the game yet. Billy Herman, second baseman. 54 is a 32 with a runner at second. And a 32 is a fly to right. Runner has to hold against a fielding column 1. So he will not take third. 2 down for Al Lopez. And the pitcher spot is next if Lopez can reach. 26 is a 29. He will ground pitcher to first covering, or first to pitcher covering, I should say. 3-1 to end the inning. So Passau is going to go with third inning. How about that? Because I got to check and see how many pitchers they have left on the roster that have not been used. Warnke, Blanton. They've only got 2 pitchers that haven't been used yet. So if we go a lot of innings here, you don't want to start burning guys. So Passau is going to stay in for his third inning of pitching. Ruffing's going to be coming out because he's scheduled to hit here shortly. So we'll see how that goes. Blimpie Hayes will lead off, and then we got a pinch hitter for the pitcher. And the pinch hitter is going to be Luke Appling. So we're going to have Blimp Hayes and Luke Appling stepping to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the 10th. So Hayes and then Appling against Passau. 51 is a 9. He's a -1, makes him a 12. 12 against a 9 does change it to a 27. So it's a ground ball to third. One away. So Hayes is out. And now the pinch hitter, Luke Appling. So now the only guy left on the American League bench, position player, is Bertie Tebbetts, another catcher. He's the only one left. Appling. 64 is a 64 is a 23. And that's an error on the pitcher. How about that? Or, let's see, what is the pitcher's fielding rating? Passau is a 2. So that makes him a fielding column, I'm guessing a fielding column of 2 would make sense because, I don't know, pitcher 2, it's hard to say because and this is where it's a little confusing, because it's looking for the error on the pitcher, but if it's fielding column 1, it's an out. Fielding column 2 or 3, it's an error. Now he's a 2, but I don't know how that relates team-wise because the Merino boards don't tell me. I wonder if the basic book will tell me. Probably not. Let's see here, folks. I've got to check this out. This is a little bit different. Dealing with the pitcher. I don't think it says it on here. I'm looking at the basic book now trying to find it. I'm probably wasting time. So you know what? I'm just going to say that as a 2, I think it's the best you can have as a pitcher is a 2. I don't think I've ever seen pitchers rated 3. So the team is fielding column 1, so I'm going to go ahead and default to that and say he makes the play. So don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's just the way I'm going to play it. So now Bobby Doerr steps to the plate. 2 outs, base is empty. 55 for Doerr is an 8. He's a +2, makes him a 9. Does a 9 stop an 8? It does not. It's a base hit for Bobby Doerr. So Doerr keeps the door open for the American League as Ken Keltner steps to the plate. It's Passeau. 62 is a 32. 32, though, is a fly to right to end the inning, and we're going to the 11th. And now Passeau's day is done. He went 3 shutout innings. How about that? Lon Warnke will be the new pitcher, but we have a pinch hitter first. Things first. And we got to get a new pitcher for the American League as well, as Red Ruffing's day is done. So it will be his teammate, Mario Russo. And the only guy left is Al Benton. He's the only pitcher still remaining on the American League. So went from Ruffing to Russo. Russo's a Y with a 12 master symbol. And the first batter he's going to face is a pinch hitter. And that pinch hitter for the National League will be the aforementioned Elliott that I kind of mistakenly had put up there earlier. So Elliott will pinch hit. Elliott from Pittsburgh will pinch hit against Russo. Righty against lefty. 15 is a 10. Base is empty. A 10 is a single. -1 makes him a 11. Can an 11 stop a 10? It does not. So it's a base hit. Oh, wait a minute. He's a left. He's -4. So that makes him a 16. Hold the phone. Can a 16 stop a 10? It does. Becomes a 33. It's a pop up to second. So how about that? Pop up to second because he was not as good against lefties, even though he's a righty. So Elliott is out of there. He has been used. So now we will go to Ducky Medwick. Medwick, 52 for Medwick. It's a 27. It's a 5-3 ground out since he does not have the X. So I'm sorry, that shouldn't have been Medwick because Medwick pinch hit before. It should have been Hack, the batter. And I don't know if I want to have Hack, the batter. I should have a third baseman in there in his place. No, I pinch hit with Cookie Lava Joe. That's why I couldn't. So anyway, 52. Let's go back and look at Hack's card. 52 is a 27. So that ends up being a 5-3 ground out, which is exactly what we got before. So we're in good shape. Didn't mess anything up too bad. Here's Enos Slaughter. 2 outs, base is empty. 61 is a 40. And a 40 is a foul unless the pitcher has a W. It would be a walk. He does not. So foul ball. We'll try it again. 22. 22 is a 0. So here we go. Enos Slaughter. 43 is a 7. That's a solid single for Enos Slaughter. 2 out single. Brings up Pete Reeser. 42. 42 is a 9. The runner at first. And Reeser, however, against lefties is -11. So that makes him a 23. 23 will easily stop the 9, turn it to a 27, which is a ground ball to third. Would have been a double play, but there was already 2 outs. So it's ground ball to third. Ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 11th. We'll get a new pitcher for the National League. It's Lon Warnke. And Lon Warnke will be in. And Warnke will be facing Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams. How do you like that as your assignment to come into a game and face those 2 guys right off the bat? Warnicki is he has no other qualities, no Z's, no X's, no nothing. He has a 13 on the master symbol. So he's facing Joe DiMaggio to start things off here in the bottom of the 11th. 15 is a 7. That's a solid single for Joltin' Joe. And that brings up Ted Williams. Can he walk it off with a home run, as he did in real life? Ted Williams against Warnicki. 61. 61's a 9. And against a right-hander, no change. So 13 to a 9. 13 to a 9. Not going to change anything. It's a single, runner to second. So 2 on. First 2 are on, first and second. Nobody out for his brother Dominic DiMaggio. And is Dominic want to bunt, or is Dominic's feeling? He's going to swing away. He's feeling good. 36 is a 33. Runners at first and second. A 33 is a pop to short. So got a little overzealous. Didn't bunt like he should have. And didn't advance the runners. Now here's Lou Boudreau. 44, this may do it. 44 is an 8. He's a -1, makes him a 12. A 12 to an 8. Can a 12 stop an 8? It cannot. A 13 would have stopped an 8. A 12 does not. Single run scores. There's your ball game. A walk-off single by Lou Boudreau. And the American League wins it by the score of 2-1 in 11 innings. Winning pitcher is Mario Russo. And the loser, unfortunately, is Lon Warnicki, who came in and only got 1 out. He pitched a third of an inning, and that was it. So that's your ball game. Hard to pick a, well, I would say Boudreau's your MVP. He hit a home run in the 5th to tie it, and then had this walk-off single to win it for the American League. So I got everybody into the game as best I could for both teams. The only guys who didn't get in for the American League were Bertie Tebbetts and Al Benton. So they didn't make it in. And in the National League, the only pitcher that didn't make it in was Cy Blanton. And I'm thinking the only hitters that didn't get in, I'm thinking Lieber didn't get in, and Miller didn't get in, and Danning didn't get in. I'm thinking these 3 guys did not make it. So I got as many as I could, but I had to protect against extra innings, which we went into, but you never know when it's going to end. If this game had gone 15, 16 innings, you don't want to run out of players. So that's going to do it from here. It definitely was a manic ball game on Manic Monday. And it's the American League. Different hero this time. It's Lou Boudreau. Homer in the 5th to tie it, and a walk-off single to score Joltin' Joe from second to end the ball game. And the American League wins it by the score of 2-1. And that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation on Manic Monday. Next Manic Monday will be Payoff Pitch. From 2018, it will be the Milwaukee Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.